Okay, to start with variable configurations, so we will need certain SCM related configurations, that is inventory arc and the other things. Let's say I am implementing only for the financial products. In this case, I will have to set up a dummy inventory arc. So anyhow, it is mandatory. So I'll start with the basic configurations. So since we are starting from payable configuration, so I'll be using vision operation ledger. Okay. Okay, so these are like basic informations, and I'm just classifying this as inventory organization. Okay. So the next step is to attach our accounting information, that is our ledger and the legal entity and all those things. Okay, so after giving the accounting information, so the other part is that inventory information. Okay, these are like mandatory information to give the master arc and the other things. So I'm just giving dummy master arc details. Okay, and calendar, I'm not creating a new one. I'm just picking from the available thing.
So Arun, you're not going to create multi separately.
Multi-arc we will create it after this. So basically when we will create this multi-arc, and the other things is that once we complete our configurations and when we are assigning the profile option. So by then we
Okay.
will create it, the multi-arc, this thing structure and all those things.
I thought actually separate business group and things
If we want to start from the business growth, then we will have to complete the AP part. I mean GL part also, because that is
Yeah,
when.
yeah. No, no. What I'm saying is, let's complete a ledger and then we'll start with the multi
Okay,
from business group.
okay, fine. So we'll start with GL then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe you missed me. Initially, I said, I mean, I requested for let's multi arc and just we'll create ledger and then we'll go with the multi arc. From there, it will PO and
Okay,
AP.
fine. Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Thank
Okay, so I have created the location as a whole, so that I don't need to come back again. So these are like mostly HRM specific configurations. So I'm just using whatever is there. Okay. So I have created this one. So yeah, so we can start with GL configurations. Okay, so I have just created 5 segments. So just for our understanding, I have kept this as simple. That is company, department, accounts, project, and product. So these are the 5 segments that I have configured. Okay, so we created the value set and I attached the same to the respective segments. So I'll just give the labels for it. I mean the qualifiers. Yeah. So I mean you're good with these things, right? Let's fill qualifiers or probably I can explain.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And Arun, I mean, if you can give me just like how the chart of account design, I mean, can uh, suggest to business, and I mean, what are the considerations we need to take those things?
Okay. Before designing our chart of accounts, basically, we will start with our current business flow understanding and the other aspects. Okay. So once that is understood, so let's say client is using a legacy system wherein they have two different systems. So one is for the core transaction and the other one is for the financial reporting. Let's take SAP as an example. Okay, so end of the day, so the transaction will be pushed to the SAP application. So we are replacing SAP with Oracle. So in this case, how we will design our chart of account structure is that in a way that it will suit the business cycle. So let's understand that the core system where the actual transaction will happen is an accounting package wherein we have a set of process that end of the day, all the journal batches will be moved to the respective financial systems for the better reporting. Okay. So here we have two things. So one is that we will have the accounts and these things, and they will have from which branch they are basically processing this end of the day batches. So these are the two key inputs that we have in the existing process. So apart from that, basically we will understand what are the key pain points that business has. So they might have a few manual process wherein they will try to reconcile between the branches. So let's say today I run 10 different projects. So in this case, what I will do is that I'll do the transactions inside it, whatever it is, procurement or sales or whatever it is. So after the period closure and the other things are done, so before that, I will need the reconciliation part and the other things before the period closure. So period closure in the sense we have two things. So one is the monthly period closure and the other one is yearly period closure. So probably the monthly period closure, the activities would be less compared to the year-end closure. So in this case, we will have to consider these aspects also. Okay. And apart from that, we have other considerations also wherein we will be using the document sequence and the other things. So considering all those aspects, and also we should make sure that uh, business will not have much of an data entry. That is, we will try to restrict the segments as much as possible. So in a way that we will not give a future segment to all three. So which will add more burden to the user in terms of data entry. So, So one thing is that we will try to match the, we will try to close the pain points. And the other point is that basically users should be comfortable in using the system. And third point is that giving additional inputs. So that is one key parameter is that let's say I wanted to give an option of product wise profitability. So these are the options that business will be looking at. So considering all these factors, we will have to design our chart of accounts. So our chart of accounts, if you see, so we have five segments. So understanding that business legacy system has an accounting package wherein they will account based on the account code combination and from the branch where they are actually doing the transaction. So in this case, so there are two possibilities that balancing segment value can be added as an operating unit or the vice versa. And the other case is that we will not add all the operating unit as an what do you call the balancing segment value. Instead, we will add the zonal offices or the key offices under the the balancing segment value, and we will have the operating branch offices under the operating unit. So this is how basically we will design our this thing structure. So accordingly, we should think through that how this structure which we are suggesting will help in terms of financial reporting and the other things, the consolidation. So let's say we have a business in two different countries. So how do we accommodate this consolidation and all those process? So that also we should think through. Okay. So considering all these factors, basically we will design our chart of account structure.
Can you explain one more time that regarding that business unit and balance, I mean operating units and BSV concepts? I mean, so in what circumstances we will suggest them for each operating unit will track as a BSV, or one multiple BSVs will still have one balancing signal. Oh,
Yeah. So, I could say I could quote two client. So one is that Indian client, wherein they have multiple offices around pan India, so which is around 800 plus offices. But if you take as a structure, so we will have one ledger, one legal entity, because the registration is only one. So I will not have multiple legal entities attached to it, but when I say BSV, so I will add all the BSV as an operating unit because I don't want to track it as an different way wherein I'll say that one BSV will be used for a multiple operating unit. So I will not use this way. So instead, what I will do is that I will attach all the, I will create all the operating unit or the branch office as an BSV, and I will attach to this particular ledger. And when I'm creating an operating unit, I will attach it there. So I will restrict at MOIC level. So wherein only this particular operating unit will be able to access the BSV1 or BSV2 respectively. Okay. And the other way of looking at is that we have other requirement wherein business don't want to have the entire big list because they cannot manage, because if you see this is not just using the what do you call the transaction, so we should also consider the data migration part. So when we want to migrate the data, so it's not that we will manage with the chart of accounts and we can migrate as it is, because the structure from a legacy system is different from what we are suggesting. So how do we get those data? So system should be capable of getting those data. So we should consider those aspects also. So let's say I have two segments in the legacy system. One is company and the other one is account. But whereas here I have probably the five segments. So these five segments, how am I going to manage mapping? Anyway, I can create it. I can create mapping. So wherever there is a null value, I can create it. But we should consider the usability of seeing the legacy data also. So considering this, what I will do is that I will not create all the branches as an BSV or the balancing segment value. So instead, what I will do is that I'll create my zonal offices as an BSV, okay, and then I'll create my operating unit. So whatever the BSV, I mean, whatever the branch office that comes under the zonal office, so that will be used as an BSV. So this way I can segregate. So this depends on the requirement. So these are the two cases which I can remember actually.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So fine with COE or any other question?
No.
Okay. Okay, probably we will see tomorrow how to load in data loader because I don't have a data loader with me. I'll have to check with someone. So probably this part I'll show it at later point. So now we
Yeah.
will add it the manual way of doing. Okay, so we are good with chart of accounts. So probably I'll create on calendar also.
Okay. For and also seventh one is July month has to change.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we are done with COE and calendar. So we will start defining legal entities. Okay, so we have created two legal entities. So that is one is for New York and the other one is for Michigan. So I have created two. So basically, we'll create one ledger, so under which we'll have two legal entities. Yeah. So we have created two legal entities, and we are creating one primary ledger with the details whatever we created in our earlier configuration. That is, a chart of accounts. We had five segments, so I'm just attaching it. And calendar, we defined it for 1 year, so that also I'm attaching it. And the currency is USD. And the accounting convention, I have taken standard accrual as a standard one. Okay. So, yeah, we know this. So the accounting convention is nothing but it will tell us how we wanted to account any particular transaction, or how do we want to move this particular transaction to general ledger. All those things will be defined under this accounting convention or the subledger accounting method. Okay. So I'm just taking the standard one, standard accrual. And then we have add reporting currency. So if I have a requirement wherein I wanted to report only the currency in a different representation, so I'll add an reporting currency. So this will create an subsidiary ledger. So wherein it will fall under this primary ledger called HWP PL. So I'm not creating as of now. So we'll go with the standard primary ledger. So similarly, if I have different calendar, I can opt for secondary ledger. Okay. Any doubt or we can move on?
Yeah, yeah, please move.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So now we have attached the legal entity. So we have two options. I mean, to attach the BSV, we have two options. One is at ledger level, and the other one is at legal entity. So since we have two different legal entities and we have two different BSV, so I'm attaching at legal entity but not at ledger. So I'll attach 100 for one and 200 for two. Okay, so we have attached the balancing segment value. So we will define our ledger options. Okay, it did not compile, I think. Okay, so these are like the basic inputs that we gave on our earlier step. So I'll just give next. Okay, so now the mandatory option will start from a retained earnings account. So the purpose of having a retained earnings account is that it will help in terms of year-end processing. So when we are processing or closing this year-end or the period closure activity, so what system will do is that basically it will shift all the balance sheet, I mean the P&L account, that is expense and revenue account to this particular retained account. So whichever has the profitability and the other things. Okay. So after we close this last period and open the current period, it will shift or it will move the P&L balance to the respective accounts again. So this is kind of an intermediary account wherein it will show as the profit or the loss. Basically, it will show the surplus funds. Okay, so that is the purpose of having retained earnings. So we created this retained earnings when we are creating the segment values. So I will attach this one. Okay, so then we have after year-end processing, we have journal processing. So wherein we have suspense account and the other thing. So suspense account usually we will not enable it because we will have reconciliation issues. We will not be able to reconcile the data wherein the all the adjustments will be parked by business in this particular account as in practice. So it is not suggested to use suspense account. Okay. And then we have rounding differences. So the precision limit differences will be stored in this particular account. Okay, so as of now, I'm not giving both the accounts, so I'll just leave it open. And then we have intra, and we will also have the intercompany balancing. So I'll enable intra balancing rules. And apart from that, we have two other options as well. The uprule, if at all I wanted to have uprule for this journal that is created in the system, I can enable this option. Okay. And then we have a reversal criteria so that we will so that we will not customize it. So I'll just use it as it is. Okay. And then I have this one, translation. So we have so when we deal with foreign currency transaction, so that is when we will have the conversion, translation, and revaluation. So revaluation, I mean, translation is nothing but translating the currency balances as of date. So let's say I make transaction in the month of, let's say in the date of 15th. So now I'm at 30th of month end. So what I will do is that I will do translation. So this translation becomes a mandatory process when we speak about the consolidation. So consolidation in the sense it's not the ledger or this consolidation. It's about the global consolidation wherein we will have multiple chart of accounts. Okay. So by then this becomes a mandatory option configuration part. So for now, we will not give the translation. So we will give at later point when we are seeing the translation and the revaluation. Okay. So basically, this is the account which will be used to track the translation.
No.
Okay. Yeah, and then we have the journal reconciliation. So we have two kind of reconciliation here. We have one at subledger level reconciliation, where we have APTV in accounts payable module, and then we have account analysis report, or probably we have 180 characters and those things. So with this, we can do the reconciliation. And the other reconciliation which we are seeing is that account level reconciliation. So that is what we mean when we say enable journal reconciliation. So it will reconcile by journals. So at the end of the day, it will be 0. So I'm not enabling this option as well, this and budget and these things. So budget also we will see it separately. So once we complete our general ledger. Okay. Yeah. So it's this is just overview. I'm just saying finish. So we are done with our ledger options. So the next option is to create the operating unit. So I'll just mark as complete. Okay, so let's create two operating unit. So basically one for New York. Okay, I think the business unit we did not complete it. So let me check in the application. Okay, let me create a new one. So I'm attaching LE1 to this particular legal entity, that is New York OU, and let me create another operating unit for legal entity 2. Okay, so we created two operating unit also. Okay, yeah. So we are almost done with our configurations. So yeah, so what we will do is that we will complete this one, and probably we will start with our other configuration. So we have intercompany and intra-company also. So this we will see it separately when we are seeing the intercompany AGS and the other things are there. So by then we
Yeah.
will see. Yeah. Okay. So we are done with our this thing. So only thing that is that needs to be configured is our inventory organization. So I'll create one, and probably we can go ahead with our AP configuration. Okay, I need to define this. Okay, I think I need to load certain values to complete these configurations.
Okay.
We'll start tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah, probably I'll just prepare this accounts and we'll start with that. Probably tomorrow we can start the AP configuration.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Kiran. We'll meet tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.